thank you for everyone being here, and thank you Eddie and Stephanie, because like this space is so special, and like being around community is so important, and I think it's something that we forget being in a very like Western society where you're so independent and you're so like on your own, and you just forget how important community is. So yeah, I'm about to perform some new shit. It's called South. It's called South of the 10. And before I start, I just want to say, does anybody know Joe Lemaire?
Yes.
Joe Lemaire. He's a poet. He's Filipino-American. He is one of the best in poetry, and he's just kind of like underrepresented. And so if there are some people here who have been in some workshops with me and him, and during those like workshops, I remember there was this one that like stuck out to me. Sorry, I'm a little drunk right now. But there was this one workshop that we did that like always stuck with me. He had us like write about like one thing, and like not write about like what exactly it is, but write about what it sounds like, what it feels like, what it smells like, just like write about the thing we're thinking about without actually mentioning it. Oh, cool. And like what really stuck with me is that he said like don't poetify it, just like write about it. And when we all shared our shit about it, it was like fucking poetry. Like it was not like it was straight poetry, even though we were trying not to do that. And like that was a message to me about like how when you're creative, like that shit just like flows out of you. Like when you are creative, like art is just who you are. And so this poem, South of the 10, is something that I've been writing in my own style, and it's something that I haven't really been doing much because I've been trying to like fit myself into like what slam poetry is or what an open mic expects. And South of the 10 is like something that's in my own voice, and so I'm really excited to share it with y'all. Yeah, and I can't like I said, I can't fucking see anything, but I feel like there's a lot of Asians here. And I don't know if y'all feel this, but like I feel like as an Asian American, you're like in between. You're like both too dark to be like part of like the privilege of like being white, and you're both too like minority to be actually like part of like the privilege of being white. So this is like my ode to like living south of the 10 and being around a black and brown community as an Asian person. So, here we go. Okay. The sun starts to dip in the afternoon, so I head home from work. Turn onto the street of my apartment and watch the kids clear the blacktop at the sound of my car's approach. They acknowledge me and wave with big tooth fairy rewarded grins, and I hear them squeal and giggle over the Motown I have blasting over my car speakers, a song my mom often played when I was a kid. And I see them run back onto the street and chase each other in my rearview mirror. In this neighborhood, everybody bumps the young and the old, Blueface and Janet Jackson, Lil Baby and the Temptations, Megan Thee Stallion and D'Angelo. In this neighborhood, there's a lot of the young and the old, grandparents and wailing babies, and I realize how beautiful and sacred that is. Generations of family. When one of my friends tells me that most of his older family members are either incarcerated or have been killed. I found that telling people you live south of the 10 is a really good metric for finding out whether someone's actually racist in LA. Their raised eyebrows, their sideways glances, their oohs, with those, they deliver a softer blow. A polite way to say, you live around that many black people? I wish they could hear the music that fills this neighborhood, the one pouring out of my car speakers, the one out of my neighbors, the one that is the squeals and giggles of the children returning back to the blacktop. I wish they could hear my elderly neighbors casting spells in the mornings, gingerly wishing each other, everyone that they encounter on their early strolls a good day. Those same people who give me a wary warning to be safe over there should meet the grandma who yelled those very same words from her balcony after she saw me click-clack by, dressed up for a night out, short skirt and heels, her be safe over there, loving and prayer-like. They should go for a walk in this neighborhood, see the care that my neighbors put into their lawns, how their calloused hands softly tend to all the green, purple, and yellow, how the flowers bloom the same as the prickly cacti. They should try the banana pudding from Earl's. They should attend the community events in Lamarck Park, see the beautiful lit-up skyline from the Culver City steps, and see all the changing colors that come with LA's sunsets. I wish they could hear all the love I hear at night from my open bedroom window, the silence sometimes, and the peaceful chirp of crickets. Other times, the 3 a.m. drunken happiness that I call my neighbor spilling out of the backseat of a car. I'm sorry. Sorry. The 3 a.m. drunken happiness that I call my neighbor, spilling out of the backseat of a car with her friend, and their laughter and heels making their way towards the safety of home. Or the young man who lives down the street who always calls his heart when he gets home from work after his night shift, and how I always hear the butterflies in his stomach when he speaks to her. I wish they could smell the spices, the flavors wafting through the open kitchen windows. And I really wish they could, because how are you gonna colonize half the fucking globe and not know how to season your food? I really wish they could, because I wish they could hear the sound of love that is a spatula hitting the side of a pan as the mom 3 doors down yells from her open kitchen window to her kids playing outside rowdy for the 5th time to come inside and come to the table. The racists who fear a neighborhood south of the 10 only hear sounds of violence in these streets because they speak a language of brutality. They listen for sounds of foul play and gunshots when the only thing at play are youth with their firecrackers. They will never know the love that exists south of the 10 when they only search for its terror. They don't know that there's more to the stories here. Their books are too filled with white flight, redlining. They read tales of violence without meeting friends like mine, who don't know their uncles because of rewritten histories, sentenced to jail because of smoking trees, but no sentences explaining the fact that the drugs were planted. They skim past mentions of the fact that the 10 was intentionally built through black and brown neighborhoods to uproot families and lives. I hope one day that they'll start the next chapter, read from a different character's perspective. And I'm not stupid. I know that it's not all love here. I know that blood has been shed here, has dripped down the hills that I walk. I know that there's struggle, that some of the people I pass by on the sidewalks rely on government assistance to keep food in their bellies, a roof over their heads. I hear the helicopters that prowl from above. I know that gas stations and liquor stations are territory markers unseen to the unknowing eye. I know that there's theft and crime here. I know the lawlessness that comes with living in the city of palm trees, of living in the jungles. But the people who fear neighborhoods south of the 10 constantly tell me that this is a dangerous place to be without knowing that it's so much more. There's love here. There's light, kindness, and there are flowers here. There's music, laughter, kids on the blacktop, beauty, flavor, joy, generations of sadness. And that is what I know as View Park, as Ladera Heights, as Lamarck Park, Adams, and Crenshaw.